I wrote 3 books on D.B. Cooper, and it all started with that gentleman over there, Ron and Pat Foreman. And I met Ron when I was working as a reporter for the Dispatch newspaper. And I covered an air show. You have 2 planes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
3 cars.
Yeah, I lost track of all the toys that you have. Yeah, you have quite a few, a lot of hardware. And the plane that he showed at the air show, I had built a model of when I was a kid. I built a model, balsa wood model of it, but I had never seen the plane for real in life. And it's called the Fairchild 24. And it's a single wing plane, mono wing plane. And it looks very similar to the Spirit of St. Louis, if you remember what that kind of looks like, except that has a windshield. You can actually see it, whereas Lindbergh, when he flew across the Atlantic, had to look out the side window. And I'm going, wow, you know, getting up my tiptoes. Man, wow, there's even a bud vase in the back seat. This looks beautiful. So Ron, this guy walks over, he puts his arm around my shoulder, he says, hey, you like my plane? I go, yeah, it's your plane. He says, yeah, just restored it. And we started talking about it. Talk about the balsa wood model that I made. And it's a really hot day. It's in August. And he says, let's go get in the shade under the wing. And we sit down in some lawn chairs and pull out some ice cold Cokes. I can still taste how delicious they were out of the cooler. And we're sitting there in lawn chairs and we're talking about making models and kids in New York and everything. And tell me about the plane, and I see on the ground, they call it a tarmac, it's part of the runway, but the plane is parked, a book. It says, D.B. Cooper, Legend, Death. I go, whoa, Ron, you into D.B. Cooper? I just wrote that book. My wife and I just wrote that book, came out last week. So we spent the rest of the day talking about D.B. Cooper and his investigation in the book and things like that. And as an investigative journalist, I wasn't so much interested in D.B. Cooper, but I was very interested in the FBI and what Ron and Pat's experiences were, telling their story about a friend of theirs who had confessed to being D.B. Cooper. And when she died, their friend Barb had 2 secrets that she confessed to them. Not only did she confess about being D.B. Cooper, she confessed to being the first person in Washington State to have a sexual reassignment surgery. She used to be Bobby. And then the surgery took place in 1969, and the skyjacking took place in 1971. And the story goes, if I can paraphrase, Barb converted to her masculine persona and took the wig off or whatever, you know, the hair, and you know, wrapped things up so her curves and form were more masculinized, and that was her disguise. And she stole the plane. At the time, I had never heard much about the inner stories of the D.B. Cooper saga, and in short order, I was to learn that Barb's story and the book that Ron and Pat have written is the most articulate, most detailed, and most complete, most comprehensive presentation of how D.B. Cooper could have stolen the plane, or how anyone could have stolen a plane back in 1971. Now, as it turns out, Barb's confession is only one of 900 confessions. And as a reporter, I began weighing all of this information. And I was saying, I'm not so sure that Barb is D.B. Cooper, but we're still friends, okay? You know, and we've been on documentaries together and everything like that. So, let me see if I remember. So I wrote a song about D.B. Cooper for the conference in 2018. Let me see how much of it, I don't remember all of it, but it was rainy, it was cold, he was something, but he was bold. D.B. Cooper stole an airplane on the night before Thanksgiving. So, D.B. Cooper, where did you go? Next time. I'll have to rehearse.